Good morning, everyone. It's Phil Wade from Dalton Wade Real Estate Group. Today we're joined by Amy.
Hi.
Clarence
Good morning.
holding the camera. and Wilfredo.
Hi.
So today we're going to be talking about converting buyer leads. So before we get into that, I'm going to go, and I usually never do this, but I'm going to go a little off color. Everybody knows I'm from Boston originally, and up in Boston they have an expression, and that expression is, oh, did you go to the Bruins game last night? Oh, I did. It was pissa. Oh, it was pissa. Do you know what they say after that? Oh, did you go? What do they say? Oh, it wasn't just pissa, it was wicked pissa. So pissa means good, and wicked pissa means like, oh, it was the best. And really why I'm bringing that in is because at Dalton Wade we want to provide, and we do provide, the best customer service. So in converting buyer leads, providing that lead with kind of the best customer service possible is very helpful in actually converting that buyer, sort of bonding that buyer to you, having that buyer like you. So what do I mean by that? And then we'll kind of delve into sort of the follow-up boss system a little bit deeper. So for instance, somebody calls me off of Zillow and I say, oh, I can't help you right now, but my teammate will call you right back. And then I transfer that lead to one of my teammates, and then the lead sits there for 4 hours. And they don't actually, because they're too busy, or they're out at a home inspection, or they're doing something else, they don't get back to that potential, client for an extended period of time. That isn't good customer service. So you've already started off, potentially not on the right foot with them. So again, and this is meant more for, anybody working internet buyer leads, the time to response is critical. That buyer, you don't know exactly what they're doing, but all the statistics show that if you get back to them quickly, within 10 minutes, a half hour, you have a much better chance of actually converting them and doing business with them. As you start to get more and more buyer leads, and we're kind of in a team approach here where the buyer leads get distributed out to many different people. But if you, as the agent, that day you have a home inspection from 11 to 2, and then from 3 to 6 you're scheduled to go take somebody out, which is wicked pissa. That's the whole idea, is that that's what we do. So, but you might tell me, oh, take me off the leads for those 7 hours, shut me down, and then I'll let you know when I'm back up for air, and you can start sending them to me, because we can't actually service that client as well as we'd like to. So in that case, if you're busy, because again, with the internet leads, and there's two types of leads. There's the lead that the property is actually available, but unfortunately that's not the majority of leads we get. The majority of leads are off of Zillow's pre-foreclosure foreclosure program, where in all actuality you have to do a little bit of research about the property. That's hard to do if you're out showing, or if you're out at a home inspection. So just give me the heads up, and I'll suspend the leads for that little period of time, and we'll send them to somebody else who can actually immediately address it and then do the research around that particular property. So let me talk a little bit about the research on the property. So when you get a lead, and then through the follow-up boss system, it will tell you if it says Zillow, that means the property is more than likely available, active. It may be unfortunately active with contract, but you can probably show that property. If it says Zillow foreclosure, then it's come off of one of the foreclosure listings that I'm on, and those, as we know, are probably not actually available to be seen. But again, to give good customer service, you want to research that property, and you want to be able to speak intelligently when you're talking to the client about the foreclosure process, the auction process, a little bit of history about that particular home. Oh, it was sold at auction to a flipper. Zillow unfortunately is still showing it as foreclosed. It's interesting enough overlaid the flipped photos onto the, whatever the case may be. Sometimes you look, like Claren got one on Placido Bayou, I think it was. We did the research, but collectively, and we still really couldn't find out exactly what was going on with that property, and that's fine. You can tell your client that I mean, they're not your client yet, but it helps. So if you think of it like this, you're trying to make that bond with the client. You're trying to impart your knowledge. You're a smart real estate professional. You got back to them quickly. You're knowledgeable about the property. All those things give that person on the other end of the line, confidence that they're dealing with somebody that can actually help them. We'll hear, oh, you're the first person that called me back. They clicked on 4 other agents. They didn't even ever call them back. So if you give good service, it'll bond that person to you, and then you've got a better shot of actually taking them out and doing business. So again, if you're out at the baseball game, the Rays, and you're still thinking you can take leads, yeah, you can call that person, but you're probably not going to be really able to speak all that intelligently about the property they're calling on. So it doesn't put you as the agent in the best light. So again, during that time, text me, hey, I'm at the gate. You don't have to tell me where you are, but I'm off the leads. I'll let you know when I want to be reactivated. The other thing, sometimes even if you're home and you can process the lead, you're busy. You don't need another lead. Like Lisa, unfortunately not here today, she got an open house and then she's out doing some showings. She's great at not taking too many leads. She likes to focus on the people she has, and when she's focused, she doesn't want any more leads because she can't really service them. It's just another person that potentially is she's just too busy. So if you get busy, it's fine to say, hey, let's curtail the leads for now. Let me come back up for water, for air in a couple days, and we'll restart it. So it's managing your lead flow. Makes for a more optimal conversion rate. So it's all about the number of people we can convert, the better service that we give them up front, the higher probability that they're going to let us actually show them some properties, and then we're going to be able to convert them into a transaction. So, all right, so let's move a little bit now into follow-up loss. So everybody with the Zillow leads is up on the follow-up loss system. It's a great, client management tool. Not only do the Zillow leads go there, but you can put your own personal leads in there. And really what you want to do is use that to kind of manage your business and your follow-up. That's why it's called follow-up loss. So basically, we have now, when the lead comes in, and hopefully everybody's actually doing this, we've got the, and Claren kind of came up with the email, but we've got the call, the text, and then the initial email that asks them, kind of what they're looking for. I know she's gotten great response off of people getting back to her. Maybe you can talk about that, Claren.
I arranged the email. I don't know, everyone's probably seen it by now, but just saying, hi, I'm responding to your request for information on this property. I did the research, and then you explain why you can't show it or why it's not available. And then you ask them to answer your quick, simple questions below, so they're more inclined to do so. And it's just I think 6 really quick questions, so you can get an idea of how to set them up for auto emails properly and all that. So yeah, it's been working pretty well. I've actually taken 4 new people out last week, which is really a lot. That usually doesn't happen. But yeah, it's been.
How many of them
really well.
Responded to the email?
All those people did.
Yeah, so I mean, it's an effective tool because again, sometimes when you call them, they don't know the number, they don't know who it is, they let it go into voicemail. If you text them, maybe you get a response, but that email, is a very easy thing for somebody to actually, to fill out. It begins that, so it shows you're interested in them. You're going that extra step to help them because again, not all the leads, and probably not nearly, even half of them are actual true buyers, but there are certainly buyers in there. So the ones that are, you want to be able to sort of, cultivate, and that email has, has worked well to do that. So just use the same email, and make sure you do the call, you do the text, you do the email. If you still haven't had a response, the next day you repeat the process. So now you've touched them 6 times, and you may in fact want to go maybe again one more time, or just move them to trash. They're probably clicked the button, at 1:30 in the morning, and maybe they were doing something else, and or they're a person that actually lived in the house, and they're worried the house is being foreclosed on, and kind of looking for real estate services is not really relevant to them. But the ones that it is relevant, we want to make sure that so that's kind of that initial contact. So again, within follow-up BOSS, there's really there's kind of 4 stages. So there's the stage that's a lead. A lead is somebody that we really haven't, we're soliciting, and we're trying to make contact with, but we haven't actually made contact with. The next is nurture. That's somebody that said, well, do you have any lenders? I need to get pre-approved first before I go out. We send them the lenders, and then we follow back up with them in 4 days. So that would be somebody we're nurturing along, trying to move from whatever that status they're in right now to actually go out and look at some properties. The next group would be hot prospect. That's somebody that we've scheduled to go out with, or we're actually showing properties. They're in that bucket. So our hot prospects, the more of them that we have, the better, and the more that ultimately will become their buyer's agent and complete a transaction with. And then the last step, or the last group, is trash. So again, if we can convert 5 or 6%, so that's 5 or 6 leads out of 100. A lot of the other leads are going to end up in trash. They really, that's just the nature of internet leads. They're not all looking for what we offer. Some are, and we hope more than 5 or 6% are, but there's a lot that aren't, and they end up in trash. Or you're busy, and then all the leads go out, but the person's looking for a $49,000 condo. Maybe that's not somebody you're going to spend quite as much time with, only because you don't have the time. If you're brand new, obviously you take any business you can get in the beginning, but as you kind of get more and more into it, you need to be a little bit more selective, in terms of who you work with. So making sure, your leads are in the right bucket, is important. The other thing that's actually more important is that they have a task assigned to them. And a task is basically how you manage your business. So you're managing your leads through tasks. You set up the task on that lead. Okay, so we'll use the example of the person that needed to get pre-qualified. You sent them the lenders, and then whatever it is, say whatever you decide, 4 days later, you're going to follow back up with them. If you put a task in, it'll remind you. It'll show you all your tasks for that particular day. If you forget to put the task in, this is potentially what can happen. You get busy. Phil's still sending you leads. They're new leads. You're busy. You got showings. You got closings. And then that person that you actually invested some time with fell through the cracks. It ended up being, you could have possibly gotten their business, but because you forgot to set up the task, they evaporated, and then they found another agent. So that's really what the tasks are meant to prevent. So one of the things you can do is if you click on your leads on the follow-up BOSS, so up in top it shows you your total number of leads. If you click on them, it'll bring up all your leads. If you then click on your top lead, it'll bring you to that person's screen, but then it'll also up in the right bring you through a scrolling feature that follows. So you can scroll through all your leads, all your nurtures, all your hot prospects, and make sure. I actually went through Clarence, she had put some in, and I found a couple that didn't have tasks, so I know she's
stalking.
He's stalking. It's a micromanagement system, so it's killing me, but it is what it is. So but I know she's going to fix that, so she'll put those tasks in, and then those people won't fall through the cracks. But you can do that. So if you've got 40 leads, you can scroll through them in 2 or 3 minutes, and make sure that John, I do need to get back to him. Let me set up that task. So you're kind of clearing your tasks, setting up new tasks, and you're managing your business like that. And if you do that, again, if you think about the big picture here, Over the course of a year, if your conversion, could have been 6%, but things fell through the cracks and it only ended up at 5%, and I sent you 400 leads, that's 4 deals that you didn't get done that you could have, and at $5,000 a transaction, that's $20,000 that basically, because you didn't manage it as well as you possibly could have, another agent got that $20,000 or 4 other agents. So that's really the secret. If it's a great system, but it does have to be used, and unfortunately documenting at least the task part of it, is really kind of what it's built for. So and then at the beginning of the day, all your tasks come up, you clear them off, you set up new tasks for the future, and that's pretty much how it works. So any questions on follow-up, boss?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, you get the leads and you send them out.
Right now, because what ends up, you can use it. There is a round robin system through there, so that so if there's just one agent, so it's a little bit varied. So some zip codes that we have, there's just one person working them. So if that person's busy, there's really no other alternative, unfortunately. Here in St. Pete, we've got like 5 people, sharing the leads. So if somebody's busy and gets a lead, it probably shouldn't have gone to them. So right now I'm just manually distributing them. But it can be set up to automate it, at least for the ones that come in. The ones, probably about 30 or 40% actually call. So those don't automatically go into the system. I have to manually put them in and then distribute it. So those are actually the best leads. When somebody calling is more likely to be engaged than somebody just clicking the button. Not that you want to discount somebody just clicking the button, but somebody, here's an example. I got a call yesterday. What about this property? I'm in my car, so I don't know the property. Can we get in there? My sister's coming tomorrow, and we like to go take a look. Let me. I'll have somebody call you that can help you. They'll be right back to you. Then we didn't call them for 4 hours. That's not kind of what we wanted. So if you're busy, it's no problem whatsoever to say suspend the leads. And we'll just send them to somebody that can actually process them more efficiently. So, any other questions out on Periscope? Anybody responding there? All right. Well, that kind of wraps us up for today. Hopefully, remember that in terms of internet leads. To summarize, quick response is better. You got to assume that person might be clicking on other real estate agents. Whoever gets to them first has a higher chance of getting their business. Actually giving them something of value, helping them, showing that you've gone that extra step in terms of researching that property for them. To sort of, we talk about this and we did mention it today, getting them set up on the MLS to receive the property alerts. That's a big one. You can tell them that Zillow, while it's a great site and provides a lot of information, some of the information isn't accurate. Here, if they're on the MLS, they're dealing with the source data, and those properties, in almost all cases, are available to be seen. So you want to kind of move them to get those alerts. And again, you're helping them. That's how you make the bond, and then from that they say, wow, look at what this person's done. I don't even know them. They're helping me. Yeah, that's the person I think I want to work with, and go look at some homes. So it's making that tie-in that you did something extra. It's just like for me, could have I charged for the follow-up, boss? Yeah, but I said I'm going to do something extra for all my teammates. It's free. So it's that same type of philosophy that you're giving somebody something, and people like that, and that's how it helps them and it helps you. So make sure when you're talking to them you've done the research on the property. Whether it's available. If it's a foreclosure, a little bit about it, and then document it in follow-up, boss. Make sure you have your tasks, run your business off of that, and you'll sell more real estate. Thanks everybody for tuning in.